Hey man, we just uploaded a video about me shooting my first Glock. Sasquatch was here visiting and he had a Glock and he let me shoot it. Well, Wes S is here too this weekend. And in the Glock video I mentioned that I qualified in the Marine Corps with the Beretta 92F. Somebody put a comment up asking how I thought the Glock 19 compared to the 92F. Well, I hate to admit how long ago that was that I qualified with that pistol. It would have been around 1990. Not 1990, it would have been about 98, 99 probably the last time I shot that pistol. So it's been 15, 16 years now. I can't do the math in my head, I'm sorry. But Wes S is here and he happens to have a 96A1 in 40 cal. And we saw that comment and he said, hey, well, you want to take a shot? And so we're going to take a shot and see if I can kind of compare it to that Glock I shot. Well, I guess that would have been Friday we shot that Glock. So we'll see what we think. I can tell you right now, it feels better in the hand than that Glock did. Now, the Glock didn't, like, just absolutely make my hand want to vomit in its mouth or anything, but this Beretta, I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you in a second what I think about it, the difference between this and the Glock, and I think I know what it is, but let's shoot it and see what we got. I have no idea what's about to happen, because like I said, I haven't shot this pistol in 15, 16 years. I mean, I do know what's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be a bang. I mean, we're not questioning the pistol's ability here. I mean, there's some fundamentals that we know are about to take place. But I used to be pretty good with this gun. Alright. I can tell you for one thing for sure, I really do like the Beretta. I'm a revolver guy, kind of heart and soul, but the Beretta feels good in your hand. Here's the difference between the Beretta and the Glock, and you almost can't compare the two. In my humble opinion, I am no one's expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I am not a YouTube gun expert. I'm a guy who likes guns. The Beretta is old world, very old world. I mean, Beretta is the oldest firearms company in the world. Been around since the 1500s. And this pistol, when you pick it up, it's not just like some emotional, spiritual connection to the past, but you can tell that there is a heritage to this pistol. And you look at the Beretta lines, going all the way back, to the advent of the semi-automatic pistol, and you can see this linear progression all the way up to this one, and beyond. I don't know how old this one is. I'm sure this. The Glock is this brand new thing. It's new world, even though it comes from Austria. But it's polymer and it's stamped steel and striker fired. Although striker fired is a very old system, it does not have the pedigree that this has, and you feel that when you pick this up. This feels like a serious craftsman's tool, and the Glock feels like a modern. I don't want to say throwaway because I don't want to sound like I'm making fun of the gun, but it feels like a modern implement, something we're going to run down to Walmart and buy, one of 5 million of that we're going to use till we don't need it anymore. The Beretta you kind of feel like you're buying a gun the way you used to. You were buying a gun for a lifetime. The Glocks don't have that feel to me. The Glocks feel like, yeah, you're buying a gun for as long as you need it. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that's the difference. When you pick up a Glock, I think when a lot of guys feel them, I don't say they feel cheap, but they feel temporary. That's it. Glocks feel temporary. Hey, Wes. The Glocks feel temporary. You pick them up and you say this, okay, I'm going to get all emotional. I am emotional anyway. Weapons throughout history, think about Excalibur, Arthur and his sword, or like the Lone Ranger and his pearl-handled bit. Weapons take on a very intimate, personal, almost mythical place for a warrior, and there's a connection between the warrior and his weapon. There's no connection between a Glock and a shooter. It's just a generic thing, and I know I just made a face, and I didn't mean to make that face. I'm not saying that's bad, but a Glock is an implement, and other pistols make you think of weapons and warriors and war fighters. So I think when people criticize the Glock, because let's face it, it's a competent firearm. But that's where it's coming from. Not, you know, I've heard people say cheap, and what it comes from is there's no emotional connection to where you feel like this is a special weapon and you're a special warrior to be wielding it. And maybe that's silly, but I think that's where a lot of the criticism from the Glocks come from, and I think that is a legitimate criticism. I think there should be that connection between the weapon you carry, because this is a really this is a great pistol. I like it. I'm not qualified to say it's great, but I really like it. I love the Beretta. I really like this one. It really tames that 40 cal. Not that 40 cal is terrible, but this really made it manageable. Like, there was no difference between shooting this in 40 cal and shooting it in 9mm that I could tell. So great great pistol. I like it. Is it better than the Glock? Absolutely not. Do I like it better than the Glock? Completely, 100%. You know, if you put this in front of me and a Glock in front of me and said, "We're going to war, grab," I'm picking up the Beretta. Because I look at the Beretta and I feel like there's a connection with that history of war fighting and being a warrior, and I feel like this was crafted by someone who and I shouldn't use that term, crafted, but when they designed this gun and they made this gun, they made it for an individual who was going to war. And you pick up a Glock, you feel like they were mass producing you know, any kind of implement. All right, keep coming back to implement. You know, mass-produced implement. That's probably way more than I should have said. But how does the Beretta compare to the Glock? I'm not qualified to say that, except to say that I really like the Beretta. Obviously, the Glock is good. But I'm about to hand this back to Wes. And the next time I go out, I'll have a .357 Magnum strapped to my hip, most likely. So neither gun's changed my religion yet. Thanks, man.